All right, when we talk about least visible attack surface areas, we're talking about the targets, right? And as a survey said, systems running obsolete OSs or applications. Absolutely, number one. Two, misconfigured user credentials. If they can use an easy password, they will, right? So it's up to us to make those passwords hard. And yes, I understand people hate passwords. I've been talking about passwords for over 30 years now. And somebody threatened to shoot me the other day if I told them they had to change their password again. I said, well, we're going to move you to biometrics and multi-factor, and you won't have to ever use a password again. Now put your gun away. Right? I'm here to help. Sensitive data in a previously unknown location. Okay, so somebody made a copy of something because they needed to. That happened to be, I don't know, CGIS information or credit cards or something, HIPAA data, right? Health data, put in the wrong place because they needed it to create some important reason at that moment. And then they forgot about it. And we didn't realize it was there. And when that device, let's say they copied it to their laptop, and that laptop then got stolen. Well, if they were able to break in, because it's going to be encrypted, right? It's a laptop. Are they able to then get to the data? One of the things I do is after I do a readout in which I have the county's assessment, I delete it. I don't need to have it on that laptop when I'm done delivering it. We got to think about that. That should be built into the process. That's something we train and we make sure people are doing, and then we watch for it because people are going to do things even if we tell them not to. So we got to assume and look. That's really about what this is all about. When we talk about servers, workloads, and APIs with open access, why? Because they want to function. We set it up to function, and as IT folks, our main job is to make sure it works.
This is a hard one too, because
it really is.
APIs especially. I mean, are you going to web crawl your own APIs constantly? And I mean, maybe so that is one approach.
If you got time to do that, that's great.
But that's difficult if you don't have a way to manage these APIs, and a lot of times these APIs are third party. Now, I'm also thinking you might have certain inter-organization APIs via Azure or some cloud-based access. Make sure you understand your security dashboard in that case.
Yeah.
Make sure somebody is watching that and knows what's accessible and what isn't, because this is API attacks are increasing.
Yeah, and we also see that a lot of the defaults leave the security off or at a lower state than we want it to be. So make sure we're configuring it.
I am seeing, especially with Azure and AWS now, more and more, it's harder to turn them off, and there are warnings all over the place when they're off, which is a good thing. But still, we need to be vigilant.
Yeah, and unfortunately, why do you think they got better at that? There's a reason. Yeah, code fragments exposed on web pages. So buried and remember, you can look at a web page and read the code. So if we're using tools to develop those web pages, et cetera, which most are now, we want to make sure that something wasn't left in that then is vulnerable or gives them information to allow them to get to the next piece or to somehow get around our security.
Yeah,
so really understanding it's there.
I'm thinking that bullet has a lot to do with errors reporting too much information. That's probably what that category
things like SQL injection would move it.
Right.
That one was based on that. And that only affected, what, 80 million people?
Yeah.
Unknown third-party connections. Yeah, okay, so we have vendors, trust but verify. So we establish the communication. We make sure they're doing it right. We ask them when they're changing their passwords, and we ask them to use multi-factor.